Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Janine McGowan, and this is my Flosstube about whatever comes to mind, really. It is a lovely cold morning here in northern Nevada, which means this time of year we are very cold overnight, but it's pretty much sunny all the time, which is a little bit bad because we could really use some of that great snow that's dumping in other places, but alas, we don't have that at the moment. So our major project, especially on a day like today when we get up a little bit earlier than usual, is holding Mosi back from wanting to walk while it's still 20 degrees out. So we try and keep her calm until maybe 9:30 or 10 when we can actually go out and not have it be too cold for their paws. So that's what we're up to. But before we do that, Mosi has to wait while I have a nice chat with you. Jumping right in this week, stitching in action, we've got some great submissions here. First off, we have Festive Forest. This one is stitched by Bonnie, who is You Seen on Instagram, and she put the little jingle ball on the top of hers, which I really, really love. Thank you, Bonnie, for sending that in. Next up, we have Cozy Christmas Cat. This one was stitched by Lisa, and I love it. I love it. She stitched it on 37 count Fuller's Teasel by Legacy Linen. And just as a side note, something I learned about Legacy Linen is the color is specific to the count. So you can't buy, say, Fuller's Teasel in other colors. That color is only available in that count. And then if you get a different count, you'll have a different set of color options. So I don't know if you knew that, but I didn't until not too long ago. Also, for Lisa's finish, the backing fabric of this little ornament is perfect. It's just perfect. So thank you so much, Lisa, for sending that in. Next up, we have a Festive Forest stitched and finished by Sue. Excellent job, Sue. And she used the little berries. I love seeing all these come together because it just, I think, encourages other people who look at that and say, oh, I don't know, that design looks a little intimidating. Here are all these great finishes done by people for the very first time, and look how good they look. So thank you so much, Sue, for sending that in. And then finally, we have a Festive Forest stitched by Debbie, who also used the little berries on top and then took a really great photograph as well. So Debbie, I need you to come teach me how to take photographs. I have to take some this afternoon, so I could use a tutorial. Thank you, everyone, for sharing those. As always, if you stitch a blue flower design, I'd love to see it. And I have a new email, which I'll talk a little bit more about later, info@blueflowerstitching.com. So you can send it to me there, and I would love to share it here and on the website. What I'm stitching, I don't have a photograph today. I did finally finish up stitching models for market, so yay! Which is late. I was just finishing up on the freebie and that sort of thing. So no big urgency on those, but it's nice to get them done. However, I should be able to finish the things off. I'm going to go ahead and say this before the next Flosstube. I'm almost done with autumn and then just into winter for those. And then I can start something new. So I'm looking forward to that as well. On to Stash Spotlight. This time I have some very lovely fabrics from xJudesigns. I do really like the feel of her fabrics. I think for a lot of us, the way a fabric feels is just as important as the color of the fabric. And these just came to me last night. So I got a nice selection of neutrals. I'll show you them in more detail, but first I'll give you the names top to bottom. Okay, Rocky Mountain, Brown Paper, Beige Gray, Fallen Leaves, that's a fun one, Aged Hazelnut, Rustic Dawn, and Rustic Fawn and Dark Soil. And I'm trying to do better about getting more neutral fabrics because that's what I end up using so much, even though I really love the bright colored ones. So I mix them in. This one is Rocky Mountain. You can see nice and neutral and light with some good modeling. This one is Brown Paper, which is a lovely neutral. Definitely going to use that. This one is Beige Gray. I am very fond of gray fabric, and it isn't as easy to find, so I really like that one. This is one of the more colorful ones. Fallen Leaves, isn't that pretty? I can absolutely see that being a fun one to use. This is Aged Hazelnut, nice rich neutral. This one similarly, Rustic Fawn, is a nice rich neutral. And then this last one, Dark Soil, I love because it is an intense, darker charcoaly gray, and we've mentioned how much I love those, but it's not overly black, so I'm curious how it's going to be to stitch on, because it is a little bit lighter than a deep black fabric would be. So that's my stash spotlight. On to the world around. Clementines. How did I get that idea? Well, there are some on our counter right this minute. I love all kinds of citrus fruit, pretty much. Yeah, all of them. But I do have a soft spot for these, and they're one of the few that I will eat fresh. I mean, I love lemons, obviously, but I don't tend to eat lemons just by peeling and eating them. I would, squeeze a little bit of lemon or lime on something, but I wouldn't sit down and eat a lemon. But clementines are one of the ones that I will definitely eat fresh and take full advantage of. They have a very short season, so we tend to associate them with winter because they're available from, say, late November to early January, unlike some of the other citrus that we can get year-round. So they are really a seasonal treat in a world that doesn't have as many of those as it used to. Years ago, I read a great book called Oranges by John McPhee, and it was so fascinating. It's not a long book. If you get a chance, I would highly recommend checking it out. But it just taught me so much about what it takes to grow commercial oranges and the history of oranges, and, obviously relates to other kinds of citrus fruit. So it really, really opened my eyes, and I've been looking at citrus fruit differently ever since. Clementines have only been grown in the US commercially since the beginning of the 20th century. Oranges have been grown here for centuries, but not so long for the commercial clementine. And there are a couple of reasons. There seems to be some confusion about where it originated. Some people say it was a cross between a mandarin and a tangerine that was developed in Algeria by a monk named Clementine. And so that's where the name comes from. Some people say it's actually a variety of a small mandarin that has existed in China for a very long time. It is a little bit unusual because it's a seedless variety, and so to cultivate you have to keep it a seedless variety by netting your trees so they don't even get pollinated by bees or anyone that might be carrying pollen from another type of tree, which then would introduce something new. It wouldn't be a true seedless clementine. And so it takes a lot of work to grow them. They have to obviously net the trees, they have to graft them to spread them, but I would imagine if a clementine made it out into the wild, then it would start changing and cross-pollinating and be, who knows, something else entirely. They have a very smooth skin, and they're always wider than they are tall, which I hadn't thought about until I read it, and then of course go look at one, and yes, sure enough, they are wider than they are tall. They're also called zipper oranges because they're so easy to peel, and they have lots of good vitamins and vitamin C, potassium, fiber, all the good things. If I ever had a proper greenhouse, obviously I'm not going to cultivate citrus, but I would really love to have a sunroom or, like I said, a real greenhouse someday where you could grow a little citrus tree just to have it. That would be nice. And it seems like clementines might be a good choice because you don't need to be outside getting cross-pollinated. You would actually want to keep them inside, so that would work. So that's just a little world around. I hope some of you are enjoying lovely citrus fruits right now this weekend and taking full advantage of their short season of availability. All right, question in the last video. I had asked what you enjoy watching videos about that's not necessarily part of your life, and lots of fun answers there. It's kind of reassuring to know I'm not the only one who likes to watch a lot of camping videos, even though I don't go out and dig myself an emergency shelter or have a pop-up tent or anything like that. I still like to watch them, and I'm not alone. So question this video is, what are things you like to do at the beach? I'm working on a design for the summer, and I've been thinking about the beach and, all types of beach, certainly different areas of the world where it's colder or warmer, but the beach at the ocean, the beach at the lake, all of that. So I just wanted to hear from you what you like about the beach. Best thing this video is more dogs. The local printer that I've worked with for a couple years just actually combined with another local printer right before the end of the year. And so now, for the first time, I go to a new office, which is great. Everyone's very lovely. And the people that I used to work with are there in the new office as well. But they have 2 dogs who are there almost all the time. So as soon as I get in the door, I get lovely paws coming up to see who came in. You can sit right down on the floor and get lots of petting and love, maybe give them a biscuit. That's a real treat. I would take any opportunity to go to the printer, even if I didn't need to, just to get to pet the dogs. And then, of course, when I come home, Mosi gives me the most thorough sniffing inspection of all time, just to see what I've been up to. So that's my best thing this time. All right, giveaway. Last video, and I wish I had a dozen of these to give away instead of just one, but it was this beautiful collection of Daydream flosses from Cottage Garden Threads. Like I said, I wish I could give them all out, but just the one. And the winner of this one is Holly Arnold 2910. So Holly, drop me an email with your mailing address and I will get that one sent out for you. Give away this video, and I'm opening it up because I forgot to take it out of the packet, but I know some of you may have gotten the Advent box from Kitten Stitcher for last year. This is the design that I put in there. This is Winter Whale. I'll give you a closer look. It's modeled on a sperm whale, and it's got a little heart-shaped, I don't know what you would call it, spouting of snowflakes coming through there. And so I'm going to give one copy of this away now. It won't be available for general sale until next winter. So this is it for then, and unless you happen to get one of the Advent boxes. So if you use the word whale in your comments, we'll pick a winner off the next video and you will get to have that one. All right, we're flying through this time. I think because I got up early, I've already passed the sluggish phase and into energized. Don't tell Mosi though, or she's going to want to walk right now. Announcements. As I said, I have a new email, so I've been working on a lot of website things, and one of them is the new email. If you didn't get the last newsletter, the January newsletter, it came out from that new email address, info@blueflowerstitching.com, which means it may have gone to your spam folder, so you might want to check. Shop emails and newsletters going forward are going to be coming from that email address because it makes it a little bit more likely to get through. My regular Gmail address isn't getting through to everyone, and so that was one of the things they recommended was switching. So check your spam folder if you aren't getting my emails, and I'll put a reminder on Instagram as well. Many of you may have heard there's a new regulation about a number of things, but it impacts selling PDFs to the European Union and Northern Ireland countries. And so when I add the new releases that are available, it'll be the winter releases when I add them to the website next month, I will not be able to sell them to the European Union and Northern Ireland. So just a heads up on that. Let's see. Next video, I will show all of the market releases I'm so excited about. I have one on my desk right now, and the others are at the printer right now. So very excited to talk about those. And as I said, the full shop details will be going out at the beginning of February. So keep your eyes peeled, and yeah, it's that time of year when there's a lot of fun stuff happening. So that's it for me. We've got a little puppy video at the end. Maybe one of these days I'll see if the printer will let me include their dogs in a puppy video so you can meet them as well. But it's been lovely chatting with you. I hope you have a great weekend, and I look forward to seeing you again in 2 weeks. Bye.